Well, hello. Welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger. Today's date is May 18th, 2025. Such a beautiful day out there. I hope that you guys get a nice glimpse of my backyard, and I hope it looks okay. I imagine it would be looking very lush and green out there right now, and we actually still have a little bit of a daylight left. I love this time of the year because the days seem to just stretch on forever. And there's so much time to do what you need to do and still have some daylight left. Not like in the wintertime. In the wintertime, I often feel that I'm stressing myself out, hurrying, because the day just seems so short. And before you even know it, it's already evening, and you're thinking, "Oh crap! I still need to do this, and that," and you're just getting more anxious in your own head, driving yourself crazy. Now, for those of you who are local here in Vancouver, Richmond area, I want to quickly mention this again. My art show, the first ever solo Tiger Tactile show, is going on at the Richmond Annex Gallery, and it is located at the 7660 uh, Mineral Gate in Richmond. It's free to go see the artwork, touch them, and just you can even scan them with your phone. There's a QR code on each piece of the artwork that will give you some detailed information when you scan them with your phone. So hopefully some of you will make it there to see the show. It will be there until September 14th, so you have a lot of time. Have you guys ever uh, feel the pull of peer pressure? Sometimes we come across people in our life that say, I hate this thing. I hate people who play sports. I hate the people who read books. I hate people who do martial arts. But when it really comes down to it, if you can catch these people at a candid, honest moment where they want to be 100% open to you rather than being defensive and negative, you'll a lot of times you'll find out it's not that they are really that hateful towards sports or martial art or people who read books or people who do this or do that. A lot of time it's because those activities make them feel inferior. Those activities make them feel that they don't have control or feel stupid or whatever. And why do we feel that? Why? How is it that someone else liking sport, someone else doing martial art, make us feel inferior? Well, the answer is peer pressure. Now, how do we know it's peer pressure? Because a lot of time people will not say something. People will say, "Oh, I don't like that person because that person uh, plays sport." But you're not going to say, "I don't like Wayne Gretzky because he plays sport." You're not going to say, I don't like Mike Tyson because he plays sport. You're not going to say, I don't like Tiger Woods because he plays sport, right? So why? Like, there are a lot of people who play sport. Why are you singling out this person? Well, because he's your peer. She's your peer. They are in the same league, same bracket, same little pond. You're both fish in a little pond. And this person playing this, doing this, make you feel inferior because they are your peer. Okay, you're not going to feel threatened if someone is not your peer. If someone is, well, to be blunt, really far out of your reach to begin with. For example, if I go out today and I meet another blind guy who also does martial art, also make YouTube videos, and who also does play music, but his YouTube channel get like 5,000 subscribers and 10 million views. Well, I would probably feel kind of bad about myself, right? Because, well, what does he have that I don't? He's blind, I'm blind. He does martial art, I do martial art. He make YouTube video, I make YouTube video. He plays music, I play music. So what does he have that I don't? Why is he so much better? So that will make me feel a certain way about myself. That will make me feel a certain way about him because he's in my bracket, he's in my league, he's my peer. I'm, there are a lot of people out there who do martial art and make YouTube channel and play music. I'm not going to begrudge Joe Rogan. I'm not going to say Joe Rogan. Oh, I hate, like, what does he have that I don't? He has a lot of stuff that I don't. You know, I'm not going to begrudge a channel like uh, well, just Anthony's custom. And, oh, what does he have that I don't? He doesn't. He reviews action figure. I review action figure. No, because we are in totally different league. Right? So those people doing well don't impact me half as much as someone who's similar to me, who's playing in the same ballpark. So when we know that, when we can identify the cause of our discomfort, then it's easier for us to see what's going on. So let's look at this peer pressure thing. What's going on here? Why is peer pressure such a big situation? Why is it almost impossible to go through your life without being affected by peer pressure? And how do we overcome peer pressure? First, we must understand that the fact that you get peer pressured into feeling a certain way, the fact that you feel peer pressure, it is not any kind of deficiency or problem with you as a person. In fact, most of why we even have peer pressure is really the fault of this society we live in. Why do I say that? Because no matter where you live, yes, even including communist countries, communist societies, or in the even when you go back to being caveman, okay, even before there's such a thing as society, we live in a reality which is competition based. The bigger person, the richer person, the person that have more resources, the person that have more ways to get resources, the person that is smarter, the person that is taller, the person that is quicker, uh, the person that's more is biologically, genetically, and naturally programmed to have that advantage. And the whole reality of not just our species, but the survival of many species is based on who is better, who is bigger, who is quicker, who is smarter, who has more resources, who can get more resources. So to want to be secure, to want to be that person is a survival mechanism that is in our psyche. So if you truly don't get affected by peer pressure, if you don't ever feel the need to better yourself, then you probably won't survive very long in this world. So it's a natural thing, but just because it is natural doesn't mean that it is good. There's a lot of things that we feel that natural. Our tendency toward violence, our tendency toward greed, our tendency toward laziness, all that is natural. But all those things we can learn to overcome, and so it's peer pressure. Now, there's two kinds of peer pressure. Okay, it's very simple. Peer pressure is something that's very simple. Uh, the first kind is the fear of being left behind, the fear of being an outcast. Right? This is what caused pack mentality. This is what caused people to uh, demean themselves, degrade themselves, uh, even act dumber than they are, just so they can fit into a group. You will notice that a lot of time, uh, people like to say majority rule, majority is the best, but quite often it is not, right? Well, when what we see in reality is when people start to get in a group, people get really dumb, right? Uh, like when you look at riots, when you look at gang activities and group crimes, uh, stuff like that, a lot of time you look back on that, it's like, my God, how can they all be that stupid? Like these are university students. These are like people who have a degree. These are people who have proper jobs and families. Like how is it that at that moment they got so dumb that they did this thing that it like even a child would know not to do? Well, it is because of the fear of being left behind, the fear of being outcast. So sometimes we rather trade our intelligence, we rather trade our independence, our capability of critical thinking and independent thinking for that security and acceptance that the group can provide for us. For example, let's say you belong to a group that like to go out and hang out and drink and eat all the time. Now, you yourself, it might be a little bit more financially embarrassed. Maybe you don't have the money to really go out, or maybe you shouldn't be going out. Maybe you should cook more at home, and you have things at home you need to take care of. But because the group you belong to, whether it be martial art club, dragon boat club, golf club, or just people at work, or people who go into the university with you, your schoolmate, your classmate, they go out uh, 3 times a week to eat and chat and socialize, and because you don't want to be left behind, you go out with them. You go out and maybe order very little food, allow yourself to go hungry just so you can be part of the group. Okay, that is a prime example of this first type of peer pressure. You don't ask for much. You are just afraid of being left behind. You're so scared of there's something going on that you don't know. You're so scared of being left out of the loop. You're so scared of being the last person to know that there is a cool movie coming out. You want to be there. When the new book come out, you want to be there with the group to read it, to talk about it, because the thought of being left out is unbearable to you. I will say that for Johnny Tiger, this is I'm very lucky that my whole life this type of peer pressure has not really affect me, because I have always hated to be just one part of the group. I don't want to be just a person in the group. I don't. If all my friends reading this book and talking about it, it's almost for sure that I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to talk about it. Um, if all my friends like to go to this restaurant, it's almost for sure that I don't want to go there, and I won't go there. So this type of peer pressure has never really worked on me, because I hate to be mediocre. I hate to be just one of the many. I want my individuality. I want to be unique. I want to be the rebel in a group. So this is the first type of peer pressure. It's when you feel the fear of being left behind, the fear of not knowing, the fear of being an outcast. The second kind of peer pressure, and this one get me almost all the time, especially when I was younger. These days, it doesn't really work on me anymore because these days I'm a little bit more worn out and not as energetic, not as mentally uh, eager to compete. But in my younger days, this one would get me all the time. The second type of peer pressure is the fear of losing the race, the fear of being the second best, the fear of not being good enough. Okay, this one, it's really sad because a lot of time when you really look back, if you're lucky enough to have the self awareness to look back, you'll realize, oh, I was the only one running that race. The other person didn't care. like you're so mad that your friend had more money than you did. You're so mad that your friend bought a house and you didn't. And then you're so mad that your friend had a car better than your car. And you're so mad that your friend got paid more salary than you did. But guess what? You were the only one who cared. No one else, not your friend, not your other friend, not your friend's friend, not your friend's family. You feel that you lost the race. You feel that you got judged. You feel that people must look at you like a loser, look at you like you're stupid, look at you like you're a failure. But when you really look back, no one else noticed. No one else cared. You were the only person running that race. But because of that fear of being the second best, that fear of not being good enough, you felt that peer pressure like it's the most devastating force in the world. Okay, I'll give you a really like a real example, and it's something that I'm not proud of. When I think back, I'm still amazed at how stupid I was. Right? Um, but this was when I was, I guess, 25 years old, and I went to this friend's party, and my friend hired an entertainer, and this entertainer came in. He's like, a 40-year-old guy. He was like really kind of like this worn out. You guys know the type I'm talking about. This worn out musician that just like you can tell the guy doesn't live very good. The guy probably doesn't have a lot of money and it's having a really rough. But when he sat down at the piano and started playing and singing, and the whole room came alive, like honest to God, I felt like I was being entertained by Elton John and Billy Joel and John Lennon and uh, 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 Dennis DeYoung, all rolled into one perfect package. The guy had perfect voice, perfect pitch. He knew so many songs by heart. He knew any song you could request. His piano playing was spotless, and his ability to entertain the crowd was perfect. Did I enjoy? Did I enjoy my evening? No. I spent the whole evening kicking myself, beating myself up in my head. Wow, look at this guy. He's he's an entertainer. You are an entertainer. He plays music. You play music. He plays the piano. You play the piano. He sings. You sing. Why can't you be half as good as he is? This guy, this like musician, starving musician, was so good that he made me, well, literally wanted to kill myself. Like, okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I didn't want to kill myself, but I felt so bad about my own music. And I did not want to touch the piano for almost 6 months after that. I didn't want to sing for 6 months. Like, I went into this weird musical depression that anytime I even was going to work on music, I would feel, ah, what is the point? That guy was so good, I'll never be that good. What is the point? And that's exactly it, right? The guy didn't care. The guy wasn't competing with me. No one else was comparing me to the guy. Uh, but because he was a musician, I was a musician. He was a starving musician. I was a starving musician. He played piano. I played piano. We were in more or less the same ballpark. And rather than enjoying his great performance, I let it drove me crazy. And that peer pressure was all me. It wasn't anyone else's fault. It was all me. There was no race, no competition except in my head. And it was so bad that I wasted 6 months not playing music because of it. So we got to be very careful with this second type. This second type of peer pressure, the fear of being bested, the fear of not being good enough, can become a very, very destructive force. It can make you lose motivation. It can make you hate the person who you think you are competing against. It can make you hate yourself. It can make you do horrible things to sabotage that person. It can make you do horrible things to sabotage yourself. So always learn to recognize this. When you feel that you hate yourself or you hate that other person, step back and think, is this real or am I just letting this peer pressure get into me and it's all in my head? Now, we look at the two types of peer pressure. The fear of being excluded from a group, the fear of being left behind, and the fear of being second best, the fear of not being good enough. Now let's look at what can we do to negate the effect of the peer pressure. Because peer pressure will never go away. Like I said, this instinct to judge, to compete, to compare, to hate, this is a survival mechanism built into every one of us. So you are going to keep coming across peer pressure at work, at home, on the road, with your friends, in your life. So how do we deal with this when we feel this drive, this fear? How do we deal with this? The first thing you can do to overcome this peer pressure, when you feel peer pressure, when you feel pressured into feeling negativity, is to hold tight to your conviction. Okay, this is very simple and yet very hard to do, but I'll give you an example. The guy who created Apple initially, right? The guy who created the Mac computer. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the first Apple computer, like way back, when I was in I think elementary school, the Apple computers sucked. Like I don't know about you, how you guys like most people would tell you that the first Apple, the first Mac computers, was so lacking. Uh, it's awkward. It didn't work like other. Everyone have a Windows computer. The Apple computer, different keystrokes. The learning curve was crazy, and it's like it didn't have the same kind of file system as the Windows computer. But despite of that, the guy persisted. He didn't when people criticized his design, told him his design sucked, comparing how look at how easy Windows is to use, look how great Microsoft is, look this file system is so much easy to use. If you do this, everyone will buy it. No, the guy held true, held tight to I am making something new. I am going to do this. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. I'm doing this my way. And look at now. Okay, is Apple still very different? Yes. Like I don't want to buy a Mac computer uh, or MacBook because I don't want to deal with having to learn a new system. But there's no doubt about it that now you can't say Windows is better. Now there's a lot of people who use Apple product, iPhone, MacBook, and stuff like that, and they do everything Windows user can do. Okay, so by not compromising, the guy held true to his belief, his way, his direction, his conviction, and that allowed him to open up his own world without letting peer pressure driving him down and do just what everyone else wanted him to do, which was be like Windows. Okay, um, that is very very important. When you feel peer pressure, sometimes you will find that your faith in yourself, your faith in your project, your faith in what you're doing, your conviction in what you do gets shaky. Okay, and that time to step back, take a deep breath. I know what I'm doing. I believe in what I'm doing, and keep doing what you do. Keep being you. Okay, it's really that simple. Keep being you. Number two, when you feel pressured, especially when you feel that competitive drive, that oh my God, my world is falling apart because I am not as good as that piano player. Oh my God, my world is falling apart because that person wins at jiu-jitsu all the time and I can't. Create your own playing field, okay? If this ballpark is not yours, find and create your own ballpark. Don't keep playing in the same ballpark where you just feel inferior over and over and over again. Right? I'll give you uh, a true example from Johnny Tiger myself. Right? I when I was growing up, because everybody told me that blind people was going to be good at judo because judo you get to grab onto the person and it's all close quarter and blind people would be good at Brazilian jiu-jitsu because Brazilian jiu-jitsu you have to hold on to the other person. I refuse to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I refuse to do judo. I refuse to be a grappler. Despite how hard it was to learn to be a blind striker, I wanted to hold true to my conviction, and I created a whole new ballpark for myself. So when someone say, "Well, how come you can't be as good as so and so? That's a judo champion. That blind person is an Olympic judo champion, or that blind person is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu uh, champion." You know what? I don't feel any problem. I don't feel that I have anything to be inferior about because that doesn't mean that they are better martial artists than I am. Because if you throw them into the ring with me and let me do my striking and let them do their stuff, then I'm pretty sure that I am going to win. So rather than play the game that everyone else wanted to play, play the game that everyone else wanted me to play, I created my own corner. Okay, I carved out a new niche for myself. Another example, also from my own life, right? Some of you know this. My father was a multi-millionaire. Like when my father was uh, my age, when my father was in his 40s, he was able to travel like in airplane like every day. He was he could fly to Canada and spend like 3 days in Canada and then fly back to Taiwan, spend 1 day in Taiwan and then fly to Las Vegas and then lose $1 million there and then fly back to Taiwan and then fly back to Canada next day. Like he was that rich, right? So uh, continuous, like a common recurring theme of me growing up with a father like that is I constantly get, well, when I was your age, I was making millions of dollars every day. Why can't you even afford your? Why are you having problem with making your rent? Why do you complain about can't afford stuff? Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? When I was your age, I did this. When I was your age, I was sleeping with a different woman every night. When I was your age, I was traveling the world. When I was your age, I was staying at some of the best hotels in Las Vegas. But what do you have? And you know what? That used to mess me up in the head really, really bad because he's right. When he was my age, he was so much more. He did so much more. He had so much more. Until I finally realized that if I continue to play in his ballpark, I will always be inferior because there's no way I'm going to ever make the kind of money he did. Time is different, world is different. He wasn't blind, I am blind, uh, and all that stuff. If I play in that ballpark, I'll always just feel really bad. So I changed my mentality. How many friends did you have when you were my age, Dad? Now, how many people liked you when you were my age? Uh, how happy were you when you were my age? How much time did you actually have to do what you wanted to do and like to do? Right? Yes, I'll never be as happy or I'll never be as rich as he was. I'll never slept with as many women as he did. I'll never see as much of the world as he did. But you know what? In my 40s, I'm way happier than he ever was. I have way more friends than he ever did. I have way more hobby, and I have time to indulge in those hobbies than he ever did. That's good enough. Okay, I won in my ballpark. I won. I beaten him. That's good enough for me. Let him keep his uh, money and women and world view because you know what? Now in his 80s, he had none of that stuff. But I'm pretty sure in my 80s, if I live to be 80s, I'll still be a lot happier. I'll still have a lot more friends. And you know what? uh, a lot of people will remember me with way more fondness than they will with my father. That's good enough. So the second way to overcome peer pressure, especially the second type of peer pressure, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of losing, the fear of being second best, create your own ballpark. Have a shift of perspective and everything will be fine. The third way to overcome peer pressure and its negative influence is to turn it into inspiration. So what if your friends are better than you are? So what if okay, let's say you have a friend who's fit and healthy and just like Mr. Terrific. Don't let that make you hate them. Let that inspire you. Learn from them. Okay? If you really want to be like them, if you want to be better than they are, then study them, stay around them, hang out with them, learn. If they drink water, you drink water. If they go out for a run every day, well, you might not be able to run every day like they do because they've been doing this for years. But you know what? You can go with them and you can walk with them, and they run, you walk. That's fine. Or you can say, "Can I come with you once a week?" Right? There's so much positivity in surrounding yourself with people better than you are. Okay, if you surround yourself with people no better than you are, then you will never evolve. If you surround yourself with people better than you are, then you will learn things. You will be able to copy them, emulate them, and assimilate their hobbies, their techniques, what they do. Okay, so and that is an awesome, awesome thing. When I first got into MMA back in 2012, I had this guy in my training group, like big 300-pound guy, and he targeted me every time we sparred, every time we trained. And the 2 or 3 years I sparred with Big James, he kicked my ass every time. Okay, I never came close to defeating him even once. And in the beginning, yes, in the beginning, I got to the point where I felt I didn't even want to go to class anymore. I was like, what's the point of me doing MMA when at the end of the class, when we spar, I'm going to get my ass kicked because it's always going to be Big James. Like, oh my God, can't he have a sick day? Can't he please have catch flu, so or break an arm, so he stay away from class, so I get to uh, spar against other people and actually get to win sometime, right? Like I had all these negative, evil thoughts in my head, but then I felt the switch flip over in my head, and I said, you know what? Never mind winning. Why don't I just stop trying to win and start copying and learn from Big James? Okay, the guy is 300 pounds, but his cardio was good, his power was phenomenal, and he was so kind and soft spoken. Like I wanted to be him. I wanted to be like him. I wanted to uh, not defeat him. I stopped wanting to defeat him. I just wanted to learn from him. And so rather than saying to myself, oh my God, I lost again, I say to myself, hey, I lasted 5 seconds longer than I did before. What did I do right this time? So let's see. Okay, every time when Big James do this, he's going to grip here. Okay, so next time, why don't I try to move the other way, right, and see how much longer I would last? And I will still lose. I'm okay with that. But just lasting 1 second more, 2 seconds more was victory enough. And every time I started to pay attention more to what he would do, and then what I would do to counter it, and what new things he would do, and what new things I could think of to counter it. And by the end of the 2 or 3 years we trained together, I was able to hold my own against Big James for over 3 minutes. That was so much more than the 15 seconds in the beginning. Like I'm not even kidding. It would only take him like 15 seconds to make me tap out or knock my ass down on the ground in the beginning. But near the at the end of our training together, I was able to hold my own for over 3 minutes, and that made me so proud of myself. Um, and what more amazing was by constantly training against Big James, I never have any problem against big people after that. Like my entire martial art career ever since 2014 to 2015. No matter if I can go up against guys 6'9", I can go up against guys 350 pounds. Anytime that happened, I never have the fear or the hesitation because I remember Big James and all the stuff I learned from dealing with Big James, being floored by him, being choked by him, being squashed by him for 2 years, and that was way more valuable than winning a few sparring matches against smaller guys or weaker guys. Okay, so when you feel that uh, competitive drive, those negative thoughts, those peer pressure, you can use that to your advantage and turn that into a very positive force. So to recap, the two types of peer pressure that we'll feel in our lifetime: one, the fear of being an outcast, the fear of being left behind, the fear of not belonging to the group. And two, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being second best, the fear of losing the race. And when you feel these things, and because you definitely will multiple times in your life, the three ways to deal with them, to negate their negative energy, is number one, uh, to hold true, to hold tight to your conviction, to have faith in yourself. Number two, open up your own ballpark. Learn to shift your perspective. Don't play in the ballpark that other people play in. Right? Create your own corner. Number three, rather than letting other people's excellence bring you down, use that excellence to make yourself better. Learn from them, hang out with them, take from what they have to offer, because this is how you will evolve and become a stronger, better person. Thank you for checking out today's episode. I'll be back again tomorrow for Music Monday.